And I start this with a riff that it's major pentatonic. It's up here. And it's kind of easy on the hand because the hand kind of sits in one position, then slides up and sits in another position. I'm going from 14 to 16 on the E string, A string, D string, and then slide up 2 frets here on the D string to 18. And then I do the same hammer-on from 16 to 18 on the G string, and then pick up 17 on the B string, and then come back 18 on the G string. So and there's a hammer-on and pull-off here. Check it out. Just hammer, 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 slide up, hammer, pull off, strike, and grab that last note. And what happens next is kind of an ode to the D chord that changes. So that's all on the E chord, and I'm playing an E major pentatonic. I'm right here where there's a D chord, which is the octave up mirror of the D chord that's down here. So that's what I'm singing. And I do this kind of chordal hammer-on. And I'm seeing the D chord up there, and let's see where this is. It's 17, index fingers barred across the top 2 strings. And I hammer on, and you can kind of see the shape of the D chord right there. So hammer on, strike here, strike those 2, and then strike there. And then we're still on D. The band is still on D. But I do the same thing in this A chord position. I'm seeing the A chord right there. We haven't gotten to the A chord yet. But what that does, it telegraphs the A that's about to happen, so it works in that sense. But it also creates a D major 7th tonality. Because so it creates kind of a pretty tonality over the D chord. And I like it because it's kind of unusual, and it's that major 7th that I always like to play that major 7th up above when I can. So here's strict D over the D chord. And then this is the A chord version of it. But it's also over the D chord, and it's kind of telegraphing the A that's about to show up, because the band then goes to A, and I come down and go to A major pentatonic. So this phrase happens when the band goes to the A chord. And it's the same kind of thing. I'm literally doing the same thing in a different spot. I'm here from 7 to 9, hammering on. Drop the hand back 1 fret to stay in the A major scale, so that's from 6 to 7. Drop the hand back 1 more fret to stay in the A major scale, and that's from 5 to 7. And do the hammer-on pull-off at the very end of this sequence. Very similar. Up here I was going, and here I'm going. Very similar. Drop back, drop back. So let me do it slower. 3, 4, 1. And now here's the key. The band goes to the C over D chord, which I'm interpreting as a C chord or an A minor chord. And now I move immediately from a major tonality to a minor tonality, and that's E minor. Remember, I started this thing with E major. Now I'm shifting to E minor just for this one chord. So the first 3 chords are pretty much, you can do E major or E minor, but here on this last chord, I don't think you can do E major at all. You gotta be E minor for that thing. So what this is I'm here. Index finger is planted here, string 2, fret 5, and I do this. So the first part of this is the index finger is kind of here, and it kind of bars across the first 2 strings on fret 5. And so with the side of the index finger, I pick, and then I pull off with a 1.5 step stretch here. So that's from 8 to 5. Slide down. So pick, pull off, slide down. So you're sounding 3 notes with 1 note. And then I do the exact same thing, 1 interval down in the scale sequence. And what this is, it's a very similar sequence. I'm just obeying an E minor pentatonic scale right now. So pick at 3, pick at 5, pull off again, because I can't really slide down. The only way to sound that note, I can't really slide down to it, is to pull it off. Now I'm in the open position, and I continue on accordingly with my hand dropped all the way down, second finger anchored at 2. And this, after I've played, I play the open E, pull off from 3 to open, and then do the flat 5 blues interval, pull off there. So pick, pull off, pull off, pull off. So that's a double pull off on that string. And as usual, make sure the notes sound evenly, same volume. You pick the first one, second one sounds the same volume, third one sounds the same volume, but your left hand is picking these notes. And then that's the landing right there on the tonic. Let me do it a little faster so I can visualize it. Now I'll do it slow. 3, 4, 1. And as you work this up, you want all the notes to be even volume, even rhythm value. It's, so don't, if you have any snags or any hiccups in this, slow back down and try and get it, everything da 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 da, and make sure the notes are the same volume. I know that for me, in the demonstration, the hardest thing for me to do was to play it at this really slow speed. It was the hardest thing to play it really slow. I'm going to talk through it. So, hammer, 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 drop back hammer, drop back hammer, hammer on pull off. Now we switch to E minor pentatonic, hammer, slide down, pull off twice, and then open, pull off twice, hit the tonic. 3, 4, 1. So there are just a couple of variations in this where I drop in a different phrase just to add interest while things are kind of repeating and cycling. One of them happens here in this A position when it's over the D chord. And it's simply, instead of going, I go 2 hammer-ons, a little more Hendrixy, a little more Steve Cropper, I would suppose. And it's just, you play some wherever you feel is right. You want to just wake people up a little bit while they're listening and give them something different as you're kind of cycling through stuff. And the next variation, that's all the same, but instead of going, I go go up right there. So it's 5, 7, 6, 5, and that's pull-offs. I think I picked that. And then here, so let's look at that. That's 8, 5, 8, 5. Drop the hand down to 3, and then 5, 3, 5. So in context, 3, 4, 1. So I start the actual descending riff, but instead of dropping my hand down, I stay in the same position. And then there's a little more of a breath there, which gives my hand time to come up here and do the restart.